Alright, welcome back to the channel, and in this video, of course, as the title suggests, we are discussing how do we fix the length of Valhalla. And weirdly, unlike Odyssey, this time it's not about, make it a lower level something. It is kind of that, but it's not exactly that. It's a little bit different and it's a little bit more complicated. Now, recently there was a string of articles and there were a lot of people talking about, even in the community, saying that Assassin's Creed Valhalla was maybe too long. And even reviewers who said it in the beginning said that yes, it did drag on a little bit. And yeah, now that I am in the mid game, I can kind of see what they were talking about. But fortunately, there is a solution. Especially, at least I think there is a solution. I have a solution in mind, and this is that solution. Now, the main problem I had with Valhalla was its pacing, because there were a lot of areas where, okay, this is a mild spoiler, but don't worry, it's pretty much near the beginning part of the game. It's during that first third of the game, so don't worry about that. And I'm not even going to spoil what exactly happens. So Sigurd has to go with this one king. I'm just going to leave it at that. And then after that, Hytham is trying to track them down with that where they went. And meanwhile, we are free to go into some region and make an alliance there. Now, what this does essentially is that it kind of ruins the pacing of what was happening. In the story, we were playing through it. There was a certain impactful moment, and then suddenly we are doing something completely unrelated. Because there is no other way to do it, because the quest literally does not trigger unless we go to a different area and we first forge an alliance there. So in terms of that, sometimes when you look at that and you look back, it just feels like the game distracts you way too much, and it maybe should not be doing that. Now, there are some areas, of course, which were absolutely necessary. For example, London, Yorwich, I'm assuming Winchester as well, because these are directly related to the Order of the Ancients. This is the Assassin's Creed part of this Assassin's Creed game, so it is absolutely important. Then, of course, the main storyline is the one with Sigurd. And now, that's my problem with the game, and that is something that can be fixed. It would take some work, but it can be fixed. Now, what I would do in this situation is make sure that there is a linear path available so that we can at least take that path and try and finish the story in our own time, instead of having to wait for it again and again and again and kind of losing track of the story every single time, because these areas that we go to, the quests are long enough, so you kind of start forgetting what was actually happening in the story, and that is never a good thing. So what I would do in this case is that just make sure that these quests are optional and that we have some sort of a linear path to go through the main story. It need not be absolutely linear. Like, it doesn't need to be, okay, one mission is over, just go to the next, go to the next, go to the next, like the previous Assassin's Creed games before, because it would kind of defeat the whole purpose of it being an RPG. But even with that, there needs to be some sort of a linear path. Otherwise, it's just interrupting the story way too much, and that is never good. In fact, I think a lot of people, and I've said this in my game ranking video, like, how is this story not among the best stories this year? And now I'm realizing a lot of people never really understood the story in its entirety, because people kept getting interrupted and they were pulled out of the story so many times that they just stopped caring. And that is something I can understand now that I'm facing it. Now I'm facing the same issue because I haven't played Valhalla in the last 4 days or so, because I know I have to go back to Yorkshire. I have to do that quest before maybe going back to what I actually want to do, that is progress the story of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So my solution, and I'm not saying this is the only solution, there might be others as well. My solution is to make sure that there is a linear path for the story, or at least some sort of a linear path for the story, and make these regions optional. For example, Skirropshire, as good as the quest was, I really loved the Skirropshire arc. It has little to do with the main story. Yes, these are characters that we did meet while we were, moving around with Sigurd, but eventually it's a story of their own, and that's how it should be treated. Same with Lincolnshire. It has its ties into the Assassin storyline. Again, I'm not going to spoil anything, but again, it's a thing that you can play later on. Then there are stories like the Essex storyline, which has got nothing to do with the main storyline. It's a really good one. It's a really funny storyline. I really liked it. But to be fair, it has got nothing to do with the main story. So all of these content should be kept for the end game when we are done with everything, or at least when we are nearing completion. That is when we need to be able to, access these areas, maybe take a break a little bit and all that. But of course, those are balancing things. I am pretty sure the development team of Creed Valhalla knows more about balancing than I do. I don't know shit about balancing. So they will know what level to put what in. I'm just saying that is what needs to be done. We need to start treating these as side content. And when we start doing that, we weirdly increase the value of the game. So instead of having to slog through something while expecting to, while you are waiting to actually play something else, now these storylines will get the attention that they deserve, because now there is no time pressure, or now there is no no disinterest towards them, because now the main story is done, or at least mostly done. So now maybe there will be much more of a focus on that storyline, because these are really cool storylines. Both the East Anglia quest, the Essex quest, the Skirropshire quest, especially the Skirropshire quest, these were brilliant created. So yeah, having these as your side content will help the game a lot in terms of newcomers coming into the game and actually playing the game. It would stop interrupting the story every few hours, and I would really like that. But again, that is just my opinion. Of course, my opinion is not the end all be all. If you guys have a different opinion in mind, do let me know down in the comments below. If this is on Reddit, if the mods actually allow this video on Reddit, then of course do let me know down there as well. If you guys do think I am talking about a valid point here. I don't know if this can be implemented. I think it can be implemented. It would take a little work, yes, but say they do it and they release it with the new game plus mode or something like that. That I feel like would be a good balance of stuff. So yeah, that's all basically I had to say. So yeah, subscribe to my channel. I'm at 92 now. I need just 8 more to get to 100. I know it's shameless self-promotion, but you gotta do what you gotta do. And I leave you guys in peace.